You ever feel like you're just wrestling with an AI, trying to get it to do what you want? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We are diving into 4 really powerful AI prompt strategies that will get the AI to do the heavy lifting for you. And hey, even if you're not a developer, you're going to want to stick around for this. These techniques are universal, and they are about to completely change how you interact with AI.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the main problem with prompts. Then, we'll count down our 4 essential strategies, letting the AI prompt you, comparing your options, taking things step by step, and my personal favorite, giving the AI a role to play. By the time we're done, you are going to have a whole new toolkit to turn your AI into a genuine co-pilot.
All right, let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? You've got a project, could be some code, could be a bunch of documents, and your files are just a complete mess. It's like that digital junk drawer where everything gets thrown. It's disorganized, it's chaotic, and trying to get an AI to give you any useful help in that situation, yeah, it can be super frustrating.
And that right there is the heart of the problem. A lot of us treat AI like a fancy search engine. We just fire off these simple commands and kind of hope for the best. But the real power, the real magic, is unlocked when you shift your mindset. It's not about giving commands, it's about having a structured, intelligent conversation. And that's exactly what these 4 techniques are going to show you how to do.
Kicking off our countdown at number 4 is the Q&A strategy. Now, this one is cool because it completely flips the script. Instead of you sitting there trying to guess what information the AI needs, you get the AI to ask you the important questions first.
So here's the key idea. You're essentially telling the AI, hey, before you give me an answer, help me give you the right context. What this does is it forces the AI to pause, to actually analyze what you first asked for, and then it guides you toward providing the specific details it needs. That way, you get a response that's truly customized and useful, not just some generic cookie-cutter template.
So what problem does this actually solve? Well, imagine you've got that messy dashboard project we talked about. It's growing like crazy, and you've got files all over the place. You know you need a better folder structure, but what are the best practices? What details even matter? Should you mention your API design? What about your authentication methods? It's honestly impossible to think of everything yourself. Okay, so here's how it works in practice. First, you make your initial request. Something simple like, propose a folder structure for this project. But here's the magic part. You add an instruction like, ask me some yes/no questions first to help you give a better recommendation. Then the AI will start asking you things like, does your project include RESTful APIs? Or will you be implementing user authentication? You just give it simple answers, and based on what you say, you get a highly tailored structure. And hey, it's okay if the AI doesn't stick strictly to yes/no questions. Just roll with it and give it short, clear answers. And this quote just sums it up perfectly. The magic here is that it helps you put all the details into the prompt that you would have put there in the beginning if only you thought of them. You don't have to be a perfect prompter from the get-go. The goal isn't to write one flawless prompt. It's about using the AI's intelligence to help you build that perfect prompt together as a team. All right, let's move on to our next strategy. Coming in at number 3 is the pros and cons strategy. This one is absolutely essential because, let's be real, especially in something like programming, there's almost never just one right way to do something, no matter what that blog post you read last week tried to tell you. So with this technique, you're basically using the AI as your own experience consultant. You're not just asking, hey, how do I do this one thing? Instead, you're asking, what are all the different ways I could do this? And what are the trade-offs for each one? This totally transforms the AI from just a simple code generator into a real strategic partner, helping you make much smarter decisions. And this table is a perfect example of the kind of choices the AI can lay out for you. So in this case, a developer wasn't sure about their database connection logic. The AI came back with a few options, but just look at the cons column it highlighted. The current method, possible leaks. Connection pooling could lead to resource exhaustion. Those are some pretty scary sounding phrases. Seeing risks like that laid out so clearly makes your decision-making process way more transparent. And this is the payoff right here. After looking over the AI's analysis, the choice for this project became obvious. This singleton pattern. But here's the crucial part. What happens next? You don't just take that info and go off and start coding on your own. Nope. You immediately follow up and say, awesome, now rewrite my code using that pattern. It creates this perfectly seamless flow from analysis straight to implementation.
Okay, moving on to number 2. And this is one of my absolute favorites. It's called Stepwise Chain of Thought, and it is just so powerful for tackling big, complex tasks. You know, like refactoring a giant, messy code file, that kind of job that just feels totally overwhelming to even start.
The core idea here is all about control. Instead of asking the AI to, say, refactor this entire file and then getting back this massive, intimidating wall of code changes, you tell it to break the task down into the smallest possible steps. This stops the AI from getting way ahead of itself, and most importantly, it gives you the power to manage the pace and direction of the whole thing. So how do you control the pace? It's with one simple but honestly magical keyword: next. You just tell the AI something like, move one step at a time and wait for me to say next before you proceed. Just like that, you've put yourself firmly in the driver's seat for the entire process. What this does is create this fantastic interactive loop. The AI suggests one tiny change, you look it over, maybe you ask a clarifying question, you apply it in your editor, and only when you're totally happy with it, you type next to get the next step. And this is so important because you still have to be careful and check the AI's work. It can absolutely miss things, and this process gives you the space to catch those little errors before they turn into big ones. And now, for the number 1 most essential AI prompt strategy, the role prompt. Okay, this is where things get really creative and just unbelievably effective. It turns out, AIs love being given a role to play. You can basically tell them what to be good at, and they just become good at that thing. It's kind of amazing. So what this means is that instead of just asking a question, you're actually designing your ideal expert. You can define not just what they know, but their entire personality and how they talk to you. You're not just getting an answer, you're creating a customized tutor, a Socratic partner, or a brilliant strategist that is tailored exactly to what you need. This is such a perfect example of a role prompt. Just look at the detail here. The role, a teacher. The expertise, excellent at making complex topics simple. The teaching style, I like to learn by doing. And then, this key part, the feedback mechanism is spelled out. If I'm wrong, don't give me the answer, nudge me. This creates the absolute perfect environment for learning something tricky, like regular expressions. So let's see how this actually plays out. The user is trying to solve a regex puzzle, and they get it wrong. Now, because of that role prompt we set up, the AI doesn't just give them the right answer. Instead, it offers this gentle nudge, a slight misunderstanding, brackets match individual characters. This encourages the person to actually think, to correct their own mistake, and to really learn the concept, which leads them to the right answer on their own. And what's so great about this is the AI's language. Calling it a misunderstanding, that's not an accident. That is a direct result of the prompt telling it to be a patient teacher. That kind of phrasing just lowers the stakes, you know? It makes it feel safe to be wrong. And that dramatically improves the entire learning experience. It's like the AI is saying, hey, no big deal, we'll figure this out together. So there you have it. After walking through these 4 strategies, you now have this incredibly powerful set of tools. You've learned how to go from just firing off simple commands to having these really sophisticated, controlled conversations that get so much more out of your AI assistant. So here it is, your brand new AI toolkit. You've got the Q&A prompt for when you don't know what to ask. You've got pros and cons for analyzing complex choices. You have stepwise chain of thought for managing those huge projects. And you've got the role prompt, which gives you the power to create your own expert tutor whenever you need one. With these 4 prompts in your back pocket, the AI stops being just a tool and starts becoming a true co-pilot, ready to help you in a much more intelligent and useful way. So really the only question left is, what are you going to build together? Just remember the key takeaway: work smarter, not harder. Because let's face it, working harder is the AI's job now.